Where's these 50-50 fighters? Hey, where are these 50-50 fighters? Hey, the fights we want. You know, we're not... we're getting fights that are a bit poor and we're raging about it, aren't we? We're like, oh, what a fight, man. Oh, that's great, that. You know. How messed up is it that novices are getting pay-per-view fights at 20 quid and the hard-working British, you know, title guys, they're on cards on British shows? That's how it's going, isn't it, boxing now? It seems that if you've got a big following, you can stick it to promoters, they'll put you on, won't they? Whereas years ago, promoters used to be in charge, didn't they? They'd say to Hagler, you're fighting Ernst, you're fighting Leonard, you're fighting Duran, and he'd go, no problem. Move forward years later, you'd have promoters saying to Frotch, you're fighting, you know, Pascal, Jermaine Taylor, Robin Reed, Brian McGee, Arthur Abraham, Andre Ward, Lucian Bute, come on forever, Glenn Johnson, and keep rolling them off my tongue now, and Groves twice, Kessler twice. Look, where are these fights? We've got Billy Joe Saunders coming back. I'm coming back, but I'm pay-per-view. And I'll fight Beefy, but it's pay-per-view. But at my warm-up fight, I'll fight Eubank pay-per-view. Is this what we're up against? When has Billy Joe Saunders ever been pay-per-view? He doesn't do a ticket. Can't even fight at his weight, his proper weight. He's never fought at his proper weight since he were Olympian, since he were at Olympics. Billy Joe's a super welterweight. That's £154. He campaigned at 160 and 168. Why not take that other stone off, or £6? It's not rocket science, is it? So I can't get behind people that, yeah, I think I'll come back to boxing, I'll cause a bit of nonsense on social media and I'll get a pay-per-view. That dog won't hunt with Porky. That don't wash with me. You can't just disappear out of the sport when you quit on your stool and didn't want to face anybody, then come back 2 years later and say, oh, I want this fight, I want that fight. Don't work like that. Boxing fans got short memories. Sorry, long memories. So that don't work. Davey Day, he's another one, he'll be back soon. Yeah, stronger, faster, quicker than a speeding bullet, all that. And, you know, I want to beat Foreman's record, being all this champ. Bellew will be doing it as well. Look, these people can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. They want to be in limelight. They want to be in the limelight. Serrano against Taylor 2 in Ireland. I said it won't happen. I know my reasons for why it won't happen. And I told Eddie Hearn my reasons. Well, it's true, innit? It ain't gonna happen. But I know that it ain't what Eddie said it is, to hire Croke Park. It ain't, Eddie. You're fibbing. If people want to know how much it is to hire Croke Park, go and email them. Because it's not 60, what did he say? It worked out about 65% more than Wembley or something. We're saying it were more than £1 million for Croke Park, but it were like less than half for Wembley. Eddie, bull. That's bull. It doesn't cost that to hire the Dallas Cowboys out in America, and that's a huge, massive stadium. It doesn't cost that to hire that out. So don't chat nonsense. We know why you don't want to go to Ireland, Eddie, and you know. You don't want to go to Ireland, Eddie. You know why you don't want to go to Ireland. I'm not going to say it on here, but that knows why. So that's that one put to bed. Saudi's, it appears to be the place where it's all happening now, doesn't it? Saudi Arabia. Hey? That's the hotbed, isn't it, now, for boxing? No. Boxing will always go where the money is. People will say it's about legacy. Right, if a fighter, say for instance, gets offered £1 million to fight for a world title, say John Ryder, yeah? And then they say to John Ryder, is it about legacy? He'll say, yeah, but he'll want the $1 million. But then if they say, John, we're going to give you £3 million to fight Canelo, but there's no belt on the line. So if you beat him, you'll get £3 million, but you'll not be a world champion. Do you think John Ryder's going to fight for that $1 million in a 50-50 fight? Or do you think he's going to take £3 million in a fight that he's got to stop the guy in to get the decision? No. He's going to take the £3 million in it because it's called prize fighting, and you've got to get a prize. Alright? You've got to get a prize for fighting, and Why they just don't come out with it and say that, I don't know. Why go on about... Dylan White went on about legacy for years. Legacy, legacy, legacy. But when it come down to it, it weren't about legacy for him, were it? Because he knocked the European title fight back against Caballero. He didn't want to fight Ergovic. He didn't want to go near Wilder and have his title shot. He didn't want to do any of that, did he? He was just hanging around like a bad smell, building up his profile with limited ability. That's what it is. Limited ability, like Tommy Fury, but they've got the platforms because of who they're connected to. And a lot of fighters out there nowadays, spit and sawdust fighters, they've got more in their locker than Tommy Fury and Dylan White will ever have. But they never get by British level, do they? Why? Because they're not prepared to whore themselves out. As Dylan White whored himself out in recent times, as Tommy Fury, as Billy Joe, have they whored themselves? Billy don't do a ticket, Dylan White don't do tickets, and Tommy don't do tickets, but they've found a way because they're cunning, so you've got to give them credit. Billy Joe's skill set's off the charts. He frustrates me because I've been to his fights, I've been ringside at his fights, and I thought, wow. When him and Frankie Gavin and De Gale were with Bricktop, I were going to them shows with my tongue hanging out at the skill sets of these guys. I were, and I suppose down the line, you tend to hear that much rubbish come out the traps, mate. Basically, De Gale and Saunders. It sort of puts you off them, doesn't it? And you sort of get sidetracked by what the skill sets are, because De Gale and Saunders' skill sets are right up there, aren't they? So is Frankie Gavin, but he was probably the least dedicated out of the three. But they frustrated me, but when they're on song, they're great to watch, aren't they? They're great fighters. But for me, them three, the glasses are full. Olympic gold medalist De Gale. Who's his best wins, De Gale? Butte and Dirrell. Carl Froch took their zeros. Leftovers. He could have done so much better. Saunders. Who's Saunders' best win? Going on paper now, you'd have to say David Lemieux and Chris Eubank, wouldn't you? You just seen what beef he's done to him. There's Saunders, probably his best wins, and John Ryder. That's it. You know, so... And who's Frankie Gavin's best win? Well, he's famous for beating... For losing against Kell Brook in a pay-per-view for the world title, but he could have done so much better if he'd have had Kell Brook's discipline and he'd have stayed at 135. He would have been unbeatable. Terry Chappendama will give me loads of stick for this video now, you know, because whenever we go out, and I probably see Terry 5-6 times a year, when we go out and we get some beer downers, he always drops a Frankie Gavin dig at me, and I always say, look, I thought Frankie Gavin were the dog's nuts. I do honestly. I never seen him lose a round as an amateur ever, all his amateur stuff. I've never seen him lose half a round, and I never thought he'd get beat. But pro boxing's totally different to amateur boxing, isn't it? So, okie dokie. I think that's about it, really. Suppose I better. What do you think to my thermals? Keep you warm then, won't they? I'm warm as toast, because this air at the moment, it's got a bite in it. But, so, okie doke. That's about it. I think we'll get some graft done now. You got over 9 minutes there, a couple of videos this morning. So, that's it. Max, I hope you're training, Max. I hope you're training, because Dennis is back and he'll be getting you on them scales, Maxie. So if you've been telling whoppers, and Max, I know you have, mate, you're not running 2 miles a morning, mate, with that derby on you. Max, you're not. You're getting up in the morning and you're probably walking 200 yards. Oh, Max, bless him. That's about it. Okie doke. Peace out. Keep on trucking. Keep supporting boxing. Don't have nightmares. We've got Curtis Woodhouse coming to see me this week. We'll get him on channel if we can. If not, we'll be doing some of that, won't we, Kurt? That's about it, really. Peace out.
Porky's Corner is proud to be sponsored by Spartan Site Solutions. They are specialists in civil engineering and demolition contracts for the construction industry. Interested parties should visit their website or contact Porky's Corner for a referral at porkycorner@mail.com.